Hi guys, so if you haven't already seen by the title, I got engaged. Now this is definitely a late video because I got engaged the day before Easter, so it's been about a month and a half, and the only reason I hadn't put anything on my YouTube channel was because I wrote a big long blog post just kind of explaining our history together and how we proposed on my blog. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'll go ahead and link that below. But I wanted to do a video on my channel because I wanted to start a wedding series here. Now I love watching kind of just like the whole behind the scenes to preparing for a wedding, choosing the vendors, the dress, the food, and everything fun like that. Me and my mom used to watch Say Yes to the Dress religiously when it was on Netflix. We like binged watch that until all the episodes were done. So I love watching videos like that, so I thought you guys might too. So that's why I wanted to start kind of just like a wedding series. And for the first video today, I wanted to just go over how we proposed just a little bit. I wanted to show you guys a close-up of the ring and kind of just what I've been planning so far this past month and a half. So yeah, let's get into it. So like I said, the whole proposal story is on the blog, but I'll just go over it briefly. Doug and I have been together for about 3 years, so I had kind of known that he was going to propose after college sometime. I didn't know exactly when. It was way sooner than I ever expected. I had only been officially out of college for about 2 months maybe, and he did it right away, so I was not expecting that. I thought he would wait like 6 to 12 months to propose, but apparently that was not the plan in his eyes. So we had been living together just for a little while, and he actually ended up proposing in our apartment. Now the reason he proposed in our apartment was because we had just moved from Orange County to LA, and although it's not a far distance, we know hardly anybody in this city, so it's kind of just me and him feeling a little bit lonely away from our friends and family. So he kind of wanted to just do it in our apartment to where we felt more of a connection with the place we lived in, because it didn't really feel like home when we first moved in. It kind of felt eerie, like we didn't know our surrounding areas, and I'm so happy that he chose to propose here because now we have such a special memory in our apartment and kind of just like this city to where wherever we move from here on out, I'll always look back on this city that we live in our apartment and think about our first year being engaged and married. So I loved that. He definitely surprised me when he proposed, not just because he did it really quickly after college, but also just because he did it on an ordinary day. I was actually vlogging that day, so if you guys don't know, I have a vlog channel where I kind of vlog daily tidbits of our life, and I was about to do an outfit of the day, and he surprised me and got on one knee behind me and said a bunch of sweet stuff. So that was so random because I just was vlogging the moment and I didn't know where to look, whether it was in the vlog camera or at him. So I don't know, I'm just like super awkward. So that whole moment was just kind of typical me and Doug. And it was just also kind of funny because Doug and I know each other, especially me. I know him like the back of my hand. So I thought for sure, I kept taunting him like, I know when you're gonna do it, you know, I'm gonna know because you're so predictable. I know your every move. Just like most couples who've been together and lived together. But you know, he totally took me by surprise because I think that was his goal, just to kind of do it on an ordinary day to where I would be completely caught off guard, and I definitely was. But we decided not to put up the vlog of us getting engaged because first off, we're both really awkward in the video. When I looked back at it, he hasn't even watched it because I don't think he wants to, but you know, a lot of people put pressure on getting engaged. They say that it's the most magical moment of your life, you know, next to your birth of your children and your wedding, and it's supposed to be this big, huge, spectacular surprise, and there's supposed to be a bunch of things planned, and Doug and I just kind of aren't like that. We're not those typical people. We do things at our own pace. We kind of had been already married, I guess it's cheesy, but in our hearts since the day we kind of met each other. We've been stuck at the hip. So the fact that he proposed wasn't something that I was completely shocked by, just because we had already talked about marriage for years and years, even since I was 19. We kind of just waited until we were done with college to where we made a smarter decision and we had more money and we were more financially responsible to get married. So yeah, we had already talked about marriage, having kids, buying a house, like for years. So for us, it was just kind of a natural progression to get engaged. And it was just a matter of when and how he was gonna do it. But throughout the whole moment of us proposing, it was kind of sweet because he didn't really know what to say, and that's so unlike him and we always have a back and forth banter throughout the day. So when he's speechless, I know he's serious about something, and he completely lost all of his words because I think he was a little bit nervous, which is so weird because we aren't nervous around each other at all. So he didn't say the correct things. He kind of jumbled his words, and I, on the other hand, am the most awkward person ever. Anybody in my life knows that about me. I just don't know what to do when it comes to surprises, and my family can definitely vouch for that because me growing up on birthdays or surprise parties or anything to where someone's doing something super nice for me, I just don't know how to act because I know people expect something from me, so I just get really awkward and I don't know what to do. So that whole proposal was just not a typical proposal at all, but it was so us in so many different ways, so I am super happy for that. So I wanted to do a close-up on the ring. I was more shocked by the ring when he proposed than anything. It's absolutely stunning. I knew that I had wanted a radiant cut for the last few months. I had even pinned a few on Pinterest, and I told him that was the cut I wanted. He didn't just go out and pick this special cut. I would have been really surprised, but thankfully I told him. The reason I wanted a radiant cut was because it definitely elongates your finger. I know I probably look into this more than most girls, but I have short little stubby fingers, so anything that can make my fingers look slimmer and longer is a plus in my book, so I'm super happy with the cut. The ring just blew me away. I love how there's diamonds all around it, and halfway down the band I think it kind of adds to a more feminine and delicate look. And yeah, he just did an amazing job, and I'm so grateful. So we haven't really done too much as far as planning for the wedding. The only things that we have done are looked at a few venues, thought about our guest list really, and we're not going to probably get married exactly a year from now. We might wait a little bit longer just to make sure we have enough money to go on the honeymoon they would actually want to go on, and just make the whole day really, really special. So I'm not sure exactly the month that we'll be getting married, but I did buy a few things, and I had a few gifts given to me that I think would really help. The first thing I wanted to show you is my wedding planning book. I went to, we went to Barnes & Noble, and I looked at all the selection, and they had about like 10 or 15 books, and I really wanted the one from The Knot because it got so many great reviews. And if you guys don't know, The Knot is basically a wedding website that has everything you could ever need as far as planning, so I thought that wedding book would be the best one, but I just didn't really like the style of it, and I didn't think it had enough resources in it. So then I found this one. This one's by Amy Nebbins, and although I just do not like the color purple, which I think is kind of funny, this was the best book. It's absolutely huge, and it's so heavy, and I like that just because it comes with a lot of different tips and tricks, and you can have a lot of different things put in here. You can put pictures in here and keepsakes. Here's a place for all of the vendors' cards. And I just think it has everything you need to know about planning a wedding. It goes through the ceremony, receptions, fashion and beauty, and I just love this book. It's super big, and I haven't really played around with it yet, but I am excited to start. And the next thing I wanted to mention was actually a gift from my best friend. This is another book from Barnes & Noble, and it's called The Bride to Be book. So if you guys know of anybody getting married, I would definitely recommend getting them this book as a gift because it's super invaluable. Basically what it is, it's a book about me and Doug, or the groom and bride. And it's a journal of memories from the proposal to I do. And I think it's so special because there's just a lot of Q&As in here that you and your fiance write down. So you basically write in your perspective and in his perspective. So on this page, the first one, it's how I met my other, and then I write how I met him, he writes how I met me, and you definitely don't look at each other's stuff before you write it down, which I think is kind of cool. And then you talk about the first official date, and then my first impressions, and it just goes through a lot of really cute things. And I think it's really fun to look back on after you're married. And then you talk about, you know, what happened at the wedding and the bridal shower, and you guys both just write down just the whole experience of getting married and meeting each other, and you put in a lot of pictures in here, and it's kind of just a time capsule of your time as newlyweds, and I think it's so cute. So I think for the next few videos I'm going to do some on diet and fitness, because let's be real, the number one thing I think most brides think of after they get proposed to is how they're gonna look on their wedding day. I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to look the best I can be, and I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm totally prepared to do that, and I think that it'd be fun to share with you guys kind of my daily diet and my fitness routine for losing weight and toning up before the wedding. And I also think it will be fun to share picking a venue and just kind of like the whole wedding decor, picking a dress. If you guys have any suggestions on what kind of things that you would like to see, feel free to leave a comment. Also subscribe to my channel if you like these kinds of videos, and if you also like fashion and beauty videos, and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys! Product I already did actually a review on. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 24 Hour Foundation, and I have it in the color Natural Beige, number 105.